James Corden doing the Late Late Show gig for quite a while now, a couple of years. If you were to go back in time to the night before your first show, what would you want to say to yourself?
I think I'd probably say to myself the exact thing that I did say to myself the night before that first show, the day of that show, and I still find myself regularly saying it to myself now, really, which is that you just have to enjoy it, because that's all you can really do. Like, it will only be a waste of time if you don't enjoy it. You can't really think about whether it's good or it's bad, because those things are just opinion. Like, in all of these things, there's talking about it now and Emmys and all these things, like, there's no such thing as best. So all you can really do is try your best, your own personal best, and try and enjoy it as much as you can. I mean, my feeling was that the show would be cancelled pretty quick. You know, to the point where, like, my wife and I rented furniture, because I was like, well, don't buy a couch, because that means we've got a couch and we'll have to sell it or get rid of it somehow. So that's how sort of certain I was that the show just wouldn't really work, you know?
Yeah. And what do you enjoy most about the show now?
I enjoy the variety of the show. I mean, in its truest sense, really, our show is a variety show. That's what we set out to do. We set out to try and make a variety show every day, and to try and make a show that is ambitious and not confined to its time slots. We try and make a show that will reach as many people as it can, whether on television or on the internet the next day, and that's what we try. That's what we try to do. You know, we just want to make a fresh, new, big variety show every day. That's what we try to do.
With a lot of your sketches, a lot of your bits on the show, there's a certain timeless quality to them. They're not based on the news of the day. There's something that could be watched the next week, months, years later. What do you think? What bit on the show do you think you've done that will last the longest, stand the longest test of time?
Oh man, I don't know. That's not for me to say, really. I mean, oddly, I think that there's things that we've done, moments where we've responded to news stories or have been, you know, political in ways, are the things that I think will stand up as a true sort of reflection of our show. Like, you know, every show that makes a show every day like this is influenced by the news, and you just have to find your show's voice and how you tackle it. And we talk about politics every night on our show, but what we really try to do is go, well, what is our show's version of this? How does our show respond to this news story that isn't us just talking about it? Because there's lots of people talking about it, whether it's on news or on late night or on social media and those things. And so I think the things that I sort of like the most, that I think would be the I guess a true reflection of our show, would be things like when, you know, Donald Trump had his, what I consider to be, abhorrent ban of transgenders in the military. We thought, well, rather than just talk about this, why don't we think, what is our show's voice here? And we decided to do a new retelling of Nat King Cole's LOVE, with changing the words to LGBT. Or when we did like Melania Trump singing A Part of This World, or we did Donald Trump the musical, or we had this thing where we said our show had bought a brand new weather station called the Stormy Tracker 3000, where we're tracking the Stormy Daniels story, and it was like a weather broadcast, and we're saying, you know, here's the Stormy Tracker, and it's causing a lot of heat here in Washington, and it's actually sweeping up all of these lawyers from here, but be sure to keep a jacket with you, because however warm and hot it is in the day, and it would cut to a shot of Melania, and we'd say it's going to be icy cold in the evenings. And you know, those are the things which I really like, because we sort of committed to thinking that television is a visual medium. It's something that you watch every day, and we always try and think, well, what is the most visual and interesting way that we can react to these things?
Your show's been very successful at viral content and producing things that gets millions and millions of views. I was wondering if there's a particular piece of comedy or something you've done on the show that you're proud of that hasn't had that viral success.
Well, I think viral success is it's very, very important to our show, but a lot of that is you know, you're dealing with an algorithm, and I never sit and go, oh, why is this not traveled in the manner that this has? Because at its core, what we try and do is think about our television show, and what we, you know, look, if you're just trying to search a viral hit, then the content's still got to be good. Like, I could just run down Sunset Boulevard naked. It would get loads of pickup, and I'm sure lots of people would watch it, but it wouldn't be for the right reason. So, you know, there's also lots of kind of niche comedy that is never going to travel broader than that. But there's some bits that I really love on our show that I hope over time people will find. I mean, we have a running joke, which is that we have a segment called Celebrity Noses, which is a segment that we've never actually got to perform on the show because of various technical difficulties. And that as a run, I think is really good fun. Any time we get to kind of subvert the show in any way, any time where people would think they're watching one thing and then it becomes something else, those are the things that I sort of really enjoy and are very much for that moment on television, as opposed to being shareable the next day, you know?
Yeah. Now, with the upcoming Emmy Awards, if you were to get nominated for Variety Series again, is there a particular episode you'd be thinking of putting forward to the Emmy judges?
I don't know. I'm sure our producers would have one. For me, I don't. We've had so many shows that I really love. You know. We did a great show when Julia Roberts was a guest, where we reenacted her entire film career in 6 minutes. We did a great thing where we went and did a Crosswalk the Musical with Hugh Jackman in New York. We've had some, you know, great shows, whether it's like Donald Glover and Reggie Watts jamming in a completely improvised musical number. There's so many. I feel very, very blessed to have so many things, which I think all of those things that I just mentioned are completely different, visually and televisually. So I'm sure there are people far smarter than I who are deciding such things.
So it might be finding the episode that has the most different things in it in the one episode.
I don't really know how it works, but you know, it would be lovely to be included in that list again, you know?
Yeah. And you've won 4 Emmys the past 2 years for Carpool Karaoke and things like that. What's it like to win those awards? What does that mean?
Oh, it's thrilling. It's thrilling. I mean, look, you have to take all of these things with a bag of salt, really. But I'm incredibly proud of our team and the show. I think we have the smallest team in late night. I think we're right in amongst it in the fight for the smallest budget. But I feel like everybody on our show just outperforms each other, you know. And there's a real sense of camaraderie on our show that just brings everybody together, and I feel like we make a a show that we all feel very, very proud of every night, and to be recognised in such a way is great. The incredible thing about going to the Emmys really is, or my biggest memory that I took away from last year is just how brilliant television is right now. Like, the volume of brilliant stuff is so great. It's so the canvas that it's being painted on feels like it's wider and more colourful and a greater landscape than I can remember ever before in my lifetime, really, of television. Some of it is just jaw-droppingly good. And so that was my feeling of being at the Emmys, was being surrounded by, whether it's seeing people from The Handmaid's Tale, or, you know, there's Paperboy from Atlanta, or, you know, there's the people from Ozark, or the, you know, the Laura Linney's over there, and like, it's, I don't know, it's a really amazing group to be a part of.
Mm. Who have you had the most fun with on your show out of all the guests or people that have come to help out, be in things?
I don't know. It feels unfair to pick any one person, you know. We've had some really great people, you know. Doing those carpool karaoke's are always really, really great fun. They really are. They're terrific. What else was like, you know, doing those things with Bruno Mars or Michelle Obama or Adele is great. Like, we've always had great fun whenever Harry Styles is on the show. You know, it's often people that you have a bond with or a friendship with outside of the show that brings a sort of warmer atmosphere. I get, not warmer, that's wrong. Like a more organic atmosphere, and so, you know, anytime someone like Bryan Cranston's on the show, it's wonderful just to spend a bit of time in their orbit, you know.
If someone were to sum up the Late Late Show in a sentence, how would you want them to sum it up? What would you want the show's sort of legacy to be?
I would want people to say it's a show that found its feet so quickly. That's the thing I'm most proud of. We had a host that no one had heard of in a slot which traditionally was, I think it's safe to say, it wasn't it didn't feel particularly relevant, and it felt like in no time we just sort of knew what our show was, and we just hit the ground running. And so if someone was to talk about it, I would just like to say that I would love them to say that we had you could almost argue a foolish amount of ambition. I guess an amount of ambition which I don't know that I could even recommend to anybody else, because it's quite tiring doing so much all the time. Some days I sit and I go, wouldn't this be easier if we just did this? But that's not where I come from, and that I'm a performer at my core, you know, and I would say I'm more performer than I am broadcaster. So the show is not about playing to my strengths; it's about trying to hide my weaknesses.
Yeah. And what did what do you think one of your weaknesses is?
Oh, bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too much bread. Oh no, there's too many. This broadcast is not nearly long enough to tell you my list of weaknesses.
Well, James, we're an awards site, and you've hosted a lot of awards. You've hosted the Tonys, you've hosted the Grammys. Why aren't you hosting the Tonys again this year?
Well, firstly, I think they have two brilliant hosts who are going to do brilliantly. I had a chat with Sarah Bareilles the other day, and we had a talk about it. So, I mean, it's time. Time is the key. I also don't feel like these shows should be hosted by the same person all the time. I think you want to mix things up a bit, and I think it feels a little greedy to host the Grammys and the Tonys in the same year. I don't know that I don't know that anybody wants that. I'm already on TV, I think, more than I'm comfortable with myself, you know. So I think it would be really, gluttonous to want to do all of those things in the same year. We're in London right now, but like for us to bring our show to London for a week is for 4 shows is an unbelievable undertaking. Like we're here right now filming all of our pre-tape stuff to play in the show in 2 weeks or 3 weeks time. And so it's a lot. There's a lot of travel back and forth and things to make those 4 shows as great as we would like them to be. So don't get me wrong. When I hosted the Tony Awards last year, it was or 2 years ago rather, it was genuinely, I think, that the greatest night of my professional career. I've never been happier. It's a joyous room, and I will be very, very disappointed in myself if I didn't get to host it again. But at the same time, I think you've got to. I don't know that anybody's going, oh, why isn't he doing it? I think it's got 2 brilliant hosts.
Yeah, I guess you covered too many musicals in your opening number. You need to wait a few more years for there to be some more to a melody.
Come up with something else at some point. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Did what do you, James? One of what do you find funny? What's something that what do you find humor in the most?
My friends, like, it's funny, you know, when I think back to being at school, quite a lot of the time people will say to me, oh, were you funny at school? And I remember saying to someone, it's like, everyone was funny at school. My friends at school were the funniest people I ever met. Like, everybody was funny at school. And then the difference is that they just sort of grow up and get other jobs, and I'm just still sort of the same idiot, really. But I think I don't know, my friends, the people that write on my show, some of those brains that we have in our show, I can't, are the funniest minds I've ever met in my life. But then if you mean professionally, it's as broad as, you know, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle to a YouTube video of somebody falling over. I think laughing is the most underrated thing in the world.
Yeah. Now, James, to wrap up our chat, I know a big frustration for you, and you've already mentioned it, is that celebrity noses always falls through on your show. Yeah. I've got a few celebrity noses here to see if you can guess.
Oh, okay. No one's ever done this before. This is fun. All right.
Yeah. So I've got some celebrity noses. You need to tell me which celebrity is of this nose. Okay. So hold this up. Here is our first nose.
Sharon Stone.
What, sorry?
Sharon Stone.
It's actually Reese Witherspoon.
Oh.
Reese Witherspoon, who was in your Oprah episode.
Yeah.
This year. Okay. Whose nose?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's one of your Carpool Karaoke buddies, Justin Bieber.
Oh,
it's Justin Bieber's nose.
I should have known that.
I know. I'm running out of noses, James.
I should have known that.
Okay. What about this nose?
Meghan Markle.
Ding, ding, ding. Good job, James. You're on one. I'll make this final nose worth 2 points. Okay. At the I heard at the wedding reception you wore a King Henry VIII outfit. Is that true?
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Okay, that's fine. Last nose. Whose nose is this?
That's my nose.
Oh, good job, James. You won the game.
Hey, look at that. We got further into any form of celebrity noses bit than we ever did on the show.
Yeah, the most successful and the least funny celebrity noses. And you know your own nose, so that's good too.
There you go.
Very good.
I know it like the back of my hand.
Yeah. So, James, it's been so great talking to you. All the best of luck at the Emmys in Variety Talk series, Variety Talk special for the Carpool Karaoke special, structured reality program for Drop the Mic, short form comedy or drama for James Corden's Next James Corden, short form variety series for Carpool Karaoke, the series. And then you've got the writing, directing, all those other races that you guys will be up for. All the best. It's so great to talk to you about noses.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
And hopefully